Oh, hi there, and welcome back to British Skylines. We're here in the county of Cambridgeshire, and this is episode 16. So in this video we're going to start working on a new project, and it's going to be a nuclear power plant. The city is starting to grow and there's obviously a need for power, so I figured might as well just go in and just go for the big one, nuclear power. Hopefully that's it, won't need any more. So we've come away a little bit further from the town, obviously left Little Gamington and Great Gamington away, and we're just starting to work over here just to get the little, I wanted to make it so that it wasn't in people's houses, far enough away that people are going to see it, but it's safe to live there, sort of thing. So we made it near the motorway, and worst case, we close the motorway. It's not the end of the world if there's a nuclear meltdown or something. But as you can see, we've placed a few basic buildings in already, and the assets we're using it's the Dole nuclear power plant made by Ronix 69. And I think it's quite a popular one for people using nuclear power plants. I know when I've had a look online at other people's, they all seem to be using this one, and for good reason. It's awesome. It's got so many different assets, and you can do so much stuff with it. So anyway, cracking on with it. We're just starting off by putting some perimeters around the outside. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know anything about nuclear power plants. The only experience I've got from them is from TV, films, and seen on the internet. So I don't know what goes on in them. Never been in one. But I feel like they'd be secure. So I'd want to make sure that we've got some fences around the outside, gates, and makes it difficult to enter. Now, obviously, it's not going to be impossible. People are going to work there. People will go there every day. There'll be deliveries in and out, all that sort of stuff. So it's going to have access. It's just going to be restricted a little bit. So we popped a gate here, which is permanently open, by the way. So it's not like we're going to stop people getting in. But and also, if cars come on the left-hand side, they will drive through the gate. So yeah, just forget that. Let's pretend that never happened. But yeah, it's trying to make it sort of a bit secure. We've got a bit of a car park space there we're going to do it, but as people come in, they're going to come to the left-hand side, they're going to park there, and that's going to be for your staff and anyone that works on site. And then from there, they'll be able to sort of walk around. It's a bit of a big site, but it's not big. It's not too big that people can't walk from one end to the other. They can park there and go to one of the many buildings we can have throughout. As for the car park, it's a fairly standard car park. Obviously put some lines in there. We will go back later on in the episode to stick some cars in, but you've all seen that sort of thing, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to it. There are 2 points I do want to sort of bring to attention regarding this power plant, though. First one is it produces a lot of power, probably more than enough to power the rest of the city for the entire duration of this series, so fingers crossed we won't need to do anything else with it again. Secondly, it's very expensive to run. I think if you watch towards the end of the video, I do play it briefly, and it costs about 12,000 money a week. And it's going to take a while to earn that money back, so we're going to be making a loss while. Obviously, it's unlimited money, so it's kind of irrelevant, but I do want it to be, I would like to keep it in a positive. So we will need to, moving forward, start working on some sort of, something to bring money in. So that's the next step. But anyway, while I've been talking, been placing a few buildings in, we've got lots of various ones. We're just putting some warehouse in here. I want to try and make it look like a bit of an industrial area. Just, there's all sorts of stuff going on here. There's people moving stuff and storing stuff, and there's going to be essentially thousands of jobs available to people working in different parts of this power plant. So I'm trying to sort of give them lots of different buildings to do that, and I say most of these buildings are from the same pack as the power plant, but some of them, these warehouses for example, they're different assets. So obviously, as normal, I will put a link to anything that's not vanilla into the collection, which is a link to the description of the video. So obviously check that out, and you can see exactly what we use if there's anything you want to use yourself. And like I say, there's we're obviously going to need to earn some more money sort of sooner rather than later. So if you guys got any suggestions on sort of different things you want me to do that's going to earn money, whether it's like the forest industry, ore industry for example, toll roads, or whatever you can think of, if you've got any suggestions, let me know, because I'm always happy to read your comments. You know I love reading comments and replying to them all. So yeah, I'll obviously take on board any suggestions you have. I've got a few ideas of my own, so we'll see what we can do. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Obviously, we're just trying to place a few more of these assets about. There's quite a few different things, and there's only one that actually produces electricity. The rest are purely decorative. I think it's the first one that we placed down, the one just there in the middle. That's the one that produces all the power. So without that, there's nothing. But the rest, decorative. We've got a little car park there as well. I know we've got a car park already, but I thought I'd have a multi-story as well, because that way there's just more options. And obviously we've all done the entrance on one side, but it's got 2 entrances here. So at the other side, we're just basically mimicking it. We've got the guard hut on the edge where people come in and say, stop, papers, whatever, you know, where's your ID, all that sort of stuff. And then obviously then the fences along as you go along, and then you can see just on the far right of the screen we've got like another guard tower or guard hut, basically a booth where more guards will sit in there, and we do put some people in there as well, just to sort of obviously check people before they come in. We don't want anyone coming in that's not supposed to be here. It's a secure site for valid reasons. If the wrong people are in here, there can be all sorts of things going wrong. So yeah, anyway, that road's looking alright, it's coming together. The next thing that we want to just put in here is a large water pumping station. This was made by Vanya, is in the workshop as well, you can find it in the collection. And I figured, you know, if we're going to go with electricity, we might as well go for water at the same time. It fits in quite well here, so I thought, why not? The next thing we're doing is actually obviously my favourite part of all these videos, is getting in there with the smaller props and the details and just making things look like lived in and more realistic. So as you can see, we've got a few trucks and trailers here. We're loading something in. I'm not sure in or out of the building. If I'm honest with you, I don't know what they're loading. It's something to help run the power plant, or maybe supply items for the people that work there. I don't know, but the point is it's there and it's getting done. And I'm putting some bollards around the outside, trying to make it look a bit nice, and you know, just I want to make it look like there's security. And as you can see there, okay, the forklift. I wanted to make sure the forklift fitted between the bollards, because I thought, well, they're going to be going through. So if the bollards aren't, it'd have to fit. So otherwise, I would have changed it. So yeah, that's what that is. Yeah, so they're just going around moving boxes of stuff. I guess boxes of nuclear waste. That's how it comes, right? Yeah, just let's get some nuclear waste and let's throw it in a box. Some yellow lines there just to obviously tell people not to walk there. It's security, safety. But yeah, just going around, we're putting on these details. These little offices here, again, obviously, I mean, to be honest, it's not important to the actual power plant, but people are going to be working there, and I figured they might as well have an office to work in. So it looks quite good in the corner here. If you look at it from sort of on the road, it's really nice as you're driving up. I think there's a shot of that later on in there, and towards the back end of the video. So yeah, I think they fit in really well, to be honest. They did quite good in this area. And of course, there's no point having a big fancy power plant unless it's going to connect to the rest of the grid. So I wanted to try and obviously just pull a line of power cables from here to obviously the rest of the town. I wasn't quite sure whether to do it. Obviously, I wanted to try and make it as a straight line as possible, because I think that's how it works in the real world. Correct me if I'm wrong, I might not be right, but I feel like they'll be straight as possible most of the time, and there's only very few sort of curves and corners and stuff. So that's what I tried to do here. If it's wrong, then I'll eat my hat and I'll do it again. Don't worry about it. Yeah, and again here we're just adding a few little things just to make it look like something's happening. I don't really know if it has any function. Obviously it doesn't in the game, but basically I'm sort of kind of seeing it as that little building just on the right hand side there in the centre. That is where the power comes out of, and it goes into the power cables that go to everybody else essentially. So again, that's probably completely wrong, but it looks like it could work. So you know, don't just get off my back. I'm trying to make it look pretty, all right? Okay. So now we've got some pipes here, and we're just trying to connect all the different parts of the buildings up, because I feel like I want everything's gonna. It's all a process. So there's gonna be stuff coming in and out, and it has to connect to each other. So I figured we'll put some pipes in between one building to another, and it will just do stuff. A lot of the stuff will be underground, obviously, but there'll be stuff above ground for maintenance. Obviously, it'll be easier for people to sort of go to a pipe that's above ground, sort of thing. So anyway, that's what we're doing here. We're just popping a few of these pipes in different places from one building to another, and I think it looks pretty cool. It does give it the effect and the feel that there's sort of some sort of production going on here, which I think works really well. And like I say, it makes all these individual buildings come together as one big area, one big complex of like mechanism. It's the infrastructure's there. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I think it makes it look pretty cool. As I say, it has no function. It is about looking cool and looking nice and decorative, but it feels like, to my untrained eyes, I feel like, oh, hang on, yeah, that looks important. There's something going on here. They're building that cable's going above the road for whatever reason, and then connecting to here, which is connected to there, and yeah, I mean, could work. Who am I to say it doesn't work? And while you guys watch me place more pipes connecting building to building, I want to talk to you about the music we picked for this episode. Now, you may already notice, if you're a keen listener, that we've gone a bit more classical. In the last episode, we used a piece of music by Tchaikovsky, and personally, I really enjoy this sort of music. So hopefully you guys do as well. But I thought, go crazy. We're going to do it. So this time, I think we've got Mozart, we've got Beethoven, we've got Strauss, and Tchaikovsky as well. So if you guys are fans of classical music as well, let me know. If you're not, then let me know and we can maybe do less of it. But I personally think it fits really well. It's nice, easy listening to. And there's just something about the older stuff. I mean, it stood the test of time for a reason. Let's be honest. But anyway, forgetting that, moving along, we obviously just popping a few more of these pipes in. I think literally every building should be connected to at least one other building, and I'm not quite sure what those little grid thingies were, but they do stuff. But they should all be connected to one another now, so hopefully it all does its thing. The next part of the build, obviously, we need to add the final details, the decals and stuff like that. So add some cracks in the road, some puddles all over the place, some potholes. It's something I want to do all the time, because obviously this is set in Britain, so it's quite a wet place, so it seems sensible to put puddles all over the place. And it's big land. This is concrete, so there's lots of areas. Just there's no way for the water to go, so it would sit there. And then we're moving on. I just wanted to try and touch up the edges and just try to bring this round to sort of closure. So obviously I don't want the concrete to stop against the grass, so we've got some mud in between, and we'll see as we go along. I think it looks quite good around the outside. It just sort of blends from the concrete a bit better. I will add some bushes in a moment as well, just to again blend from the dirt to the grass. But all in all, I think it's looking pretty good. It does sort of fit quite well, and I really enjoy doing this sort of thing. I can spend hours just going around and decorating and detailing tiny little bits, and we're trying to get a different type of dirt here, mud or dirt, whatever, and just to touch up the top of this hill. So when you drive along the bottom, or the top for that matter, there's no green there. It's just the hill, and I think it came out really well. I'm really, really happy with that. That bit was nice. And yeah, obviously it's a power plant. We need signs, so a couple of signs on either side, just to warning people. Don't come here unless you actually need to, unless you're allowed to come here. Just keep out private property. There we're just putting the cracks in the road, and I think we're going to put some potholes in a moment. But you have to get really close to see this. But when it comes to screenshots and obviously taking that close first-person view, it does make a big difference to the final outcome of this. And obviously, if you're only looking from like 30, 40 metres up, then it's not so important. But the way I like to play, the way I like to see the game, it's all part of a realistic build a realistic sort of town or city or nuclear power plant in this instance. So as you can see, now we're obviously doing a couple of bushes, so I'm just layering a few. I'm not making the same mistake as before where we've got loads and loads. I've just added a few larger assets together into small batches and going with them, and it works out quite well. And then we'll just add a few extras here, there and everywhere just to touch it up. And yeah, like I say, I think it works quite well. I wasn't sure, because I made the fence quite wide around the outside. I wasn't sure whether it was a bit too wide. Perhaps maybe bring it in. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You can see here we're just obviously adding a bit of grass just to sort of finish it off and just to sort of give it that final aesthetic-y look. And yeah, I think overall the area just looks great. I mean, obviously your opinions are more important to me than my own opinion. So I need to know that you guys like it, and if you don't like it, I can make things better in the future. But I think it turned out really well. Obviously, let me know if you think that we need to add more bushes or trees, or bring the fence further in or something, because we can tweak it a bit. And the only other thing as well that I sort of didn't think about is, you can see obviously we've got the end of the river, the lake, or whatever you want to call it. People can take a boat up there at any point, so it's not the most secure. but I kind of think that there's obviously security on site, just making sure that no one goes down there and does anything. So that's in my mind, that's how it's working. But anyway, we're just going to finish off with just a couple of little cars, which you've seen me do this a million times before. We've got a whole bunch of different types of cars, and just dotted around the car park. There's going to be a bunch of other ones that will come in as the game plays, but I wanted to add a few in just to give it that lived-in effect from the start. Unfortunately, we are just about out of time, however, though. So if you did enjoy this, obviously let me know in the comments below. As you're fully aware, I enjoy reading your comments. I enjoy replying to them and taking on board any ideas that you guys have. I'm like a little bit delayed on it because I'm usually a couple of episodes behind you, but I'll always be there ready to sort of follow up on something. Couple of episodes time sort of thing. So yeah, as I say, if you enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends about it too. We're really trying to sort of boost the algorithm, so if you can just sort of watch it and tell your friends to watch it too, that's fantastic. That'd be amazing. I really appreciate it. But unfortunately, we are out of time now, so don't forget to watch the cinematics at the end. But as always, I've been Geeky Gamer. You've been awesome, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.